You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at bringdowntheband.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The entire crew is here. Starting up at the top, voice of Indianapolis, rocking his D-boy outfit from the early 2000s. That's off that baked chicken, my man. Hey, Moore, how are you, sir?
This is a Printfinity exclusive here.
Okay.
A vintage.
That
take that Tuesday 13.
Okay.
They going for $59.95 at Academics right now.
Get that bread.
You can still get yours now.
Okay. You know, it was the white tee that did it though. You know, we can't diss Printfinity. I know the owner, man. He got a care package he been sending me for 2 years. So I know the owner. But how are you, man? How's everything your way?
Good. You know, I mean, just watching the news.
Okay.
Just trying to keep it's just crazy because I'm like, they might as well just run the same story every day. Because they talk about the same two things, coronavirus, and how Joe Biden has won the election for the 17th time since election day.
Thanks.
But I'm excited about NBA season starting finally. Still watching some little football here and there, just trying to maintain, man. You know, there's a lot going on in the world.
Yes, sir.
I know everybody's like, yo, I can't wait for 2021. I was like, a lot of this is just going to follow us into the next year. So you might as well just buckle in and hold tight.
It's going to be a little bit. The more I watch TV and, see our surroundings, the more I realize it is going to be a little while. So, we'll see what happens. Good to hear from you as always, brother. Man, DJ Jay Diff, checking out that expensive glass. What's happening, brother? How are you?
This is a glass that was free with the bottle of liquor.
Man, them was high. Those are high on the shelf. And reach up to get those.
I can't remember the last time I seen a high dollar item that came with
the glass.
You can buy a bottle of Louis 13th and it's coming with the box and the bottle. You ain't getting a glass with it.
I feel you. So when they gave you that, they didn't have to reach up high on the shelf to get it. You just pulled it off the rack, kept on moving.
I mean, I just grabbed it myself right out the middle of Meyer. They have
straight up
little stuff right in the middle. I grabbed it right from there, and kept it pushing.
Man, be careful though. You go to Meyer at the right time, maybe around 11:15. You might see Lone with his mask in the ice cream aisle. I'm just telling you. I ain't gonna. One time I saw it, but. I'm just letting y'all know y'all might see him out there. Speaking of Lone, my man checking in live from the Bringing Down the Band headquarters. What's happening, man?
Doing great. But I just want to confirm that it was you that was in the ice cream aisle. You were coming from the ice cream aisle.
I definitely was.
I'm doing all right, man. It's just been a busy week. So
well, hopefully I don't know about y'all, but these days are running together so fast. Like, I swear, from Monday to like Thursday, look up, man, it's crazy. Like, all the days are just, to me, they're just flying by. Like, this whole year, it's just been.
Man, this year, this is what I'll say. This has been the fastest and slowest year at the same time. Because it seems like some of these weeks go by real fast.
Yep,
agreed.
But the year
when you got some bills coming up,
like
the time goes by real fast.
But man, this year feels like 10 years. It feels like a 10-year year.
Definitely the most strange.
And to Jay Moore's point, when 2021 happens, it's not gonna reset all this bullshit that we just happen to have to go through in 2020. It's probably gonna be part 2. Knock on wood.
And you know what? I was talking to somebody, and you know what's crazy? Think about it. We had a Super Bowl this year. There was 100,000 people there.
Yeah.
That was this year. Kobe Bryant passed away this year. That seems like so long ago, but that was this.
The All-Star game was this year.
It seems ridiculous that we had those things, like literally the All-Star game, and it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, and we was on lockdown.
If you think about it now, based on what you said, think about the Super Bowl last year. Now, who knows what it's going to look like
this year?
Or this year. I'm sorry, this year. Who knows what it's going to look like
Chiefs
next
won
year?
the Super Bowl in 2020.
Correct. I'm curious to see what it's going to look like for next year. You know what I'm saying? Like how they're going to do this, because that's the most watched event in sports. Let me take that back, except for the race, right? Or which one is bigger? I think the race is
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Okay. All right. So how are they going to, like, you can't spread that. Like, it's either going to be what, a percentage of capacity and that's it. Like, what's the halftime show going to look like? I'm very curious to see how they pull that off, because that event is so huge every year.
You know what's crazy is, like, it's in Raymond James, where the Buccaneers home stadium.
Yeah.
Which means it's in Florida.
Yep.
Florida, technically, they don't have any restrictions on anything. If they wanted to, I don't think the NFL will let them do it. But if they wanted to, they could pack that entire stadium out, like under the state. Like, you got to understand, clubs and restaurants, indoor dining, 100% capacity in the entire state of Florida. They just don't care.
If you watch games for the Buccaneers, if you watch any NFL games, the season started, everybody was spread out. You know, you might see, 5,000 people in there or something, if that. Now, the game that they played last weekend, it wasn't full by no means, but you can tell the upper deck, lower deck, a 50-yard line, there are people spread out everywhere in that stadium, to his point about that state. So if you project that out between December, January, you go into February, the stadium might be halfway full, spread out, 50% or something, which to me is crazy based off everything that's been happening. So I wouldn't, if I'm the NFL, I don't take that risk. That's me. I wouldn't put all those people in that stadium for me. That's a bad look for them. But people trying to get that bread, so we're gonna see. We'll see.
Yeah. I won't be in attendance.
The Super Bowl is a television product. As long as it's on TV, they're good.
Oh yeah, they're gonna still get that rating. The ratings now, it's still gonna move the needle. But I'm just saying, man, I'm cool. I'm like Terry said, I'd be cool anyway because I'm not paying them prices, but I'm super cool now. But let's go ahead and jump into the rundown.
I remember when it was here, I just found me a nice spot downtown and watched it at a bar.
Yeah. They had dope events and everything was, nice outside. I came down from Chicago for that. But in terms of trying to cop tickets, I remember looking at the prices like, nah, I'm just going to soak up the festivities and keep it moving. That's exactly what I did. They did have the zip line joint. It was popping. That was about it.
Oh yeah, it was live.
All right,
live
so
on stage.
let's jump into the rundown. Shout out to the chat as well. The homie Jabari's in here. Let's see who is that? Annie Palom, I see you. Nicole is in here. I don't think it's Corey T still in here. I see you. Cole, let's see, Corey T. Who am I missing? My man Branson, Akeem. We appreciate y'all if y'all in here. Announce yourselves if you're in the chat. Love to hear from y'all throughout the course of the show. So I pulled an article from Wrap Up, and it was basically talking about an IG post that Fabolous made. And didn't pull any punches in terms of how broad of a statement this is, but he said that being a rapper is the most dangerous job in America. Now, we talked about rappers and the moves that they make, the people that are around them. Last episode we talked about G Herbo and stuff that was going on with him and all that type of stuff. But Fab to come out and say that being a rapper is the most dangerous job in the world, to me, that's a whole different bag of marbles. That's a lot to be able to say that, and really mean it. And he sounds like he does. So I want to throw this out to you guys. With that statement, Terry, I'll come to you first. Is that cap, man? Is that hyperbole? Is he doing a little too much with that on that statement? Or is there some credence to that comment? Talk to me.
No, I'm definitely going to have to go with cap for 500, Alex. The thing about it is, as dangerous as it might be, there's certain situations that certain artists put themselves in, and we kind of discussed that last week as well. And there's also a lot of lot of things that you get as far as like prize-worthy things from being a rapper. So a lot of people aspire to be a rapper, and I mean, mostly everybody's not out here dying from being a rapper. Is generally the people that don't remove themselves from their situations, or or the ones that are still trying to be around the environment that they work so hard to get out of. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's kind of a give and take answer or a situation there, but I couldn't say it's the most dangerous job to have at all. Definitely Cap.
Okay. Don't talk to me. Is this what do you think on that? Hyperbole? He lying? How do you feel about it?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. And this is the top 25 most dangerous jobs.
Okay. Wish we had a music sound every time he shares his screen.
So we have mining machine operators, construction workers, maintenance workers. 22 is police officers, ground maintenance workers, heavy vehicle mechanics, supervisors of mechanics, small engine mechanics, cement masons, highway maintenance workers, landscaping supervisors, construction helpers, crane operators, crossing guards, agriculture workers, power linemen, firefighter supervisors, farmers, delivery drivers, iron workers, garbage collectors, roofers, derrick operators, and oil, gas, and mining, aircraft pilots and flight engineers, and number 1, logging workers. Maybe this study did not. Maybe to his defense, maybe maybe rappers was not included in this study. I'm not sure.
I guess not. I mean, essentially, being a rapper is like being a successful rapper is like hitting the lottery. You know what I'm saying? That's not something that happens like all the time. No matter how many people want to be a rapper, I mean, how many people are actually successful being a rapper at the end of the day?
But at the same, like rapping and being in a dangerous situation is not synonymous. Like,
right.
So I don't know. I'd be curious of the context of exactly what he means. So even Nicole says, does he include mental health? Maybe it's a little more involved statement than just physical injury. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm not Fabolous. I've rapped.
Fabolous.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I think he might.
I don't know. His Instagram seems like he lives a pretty nice lifestyle.
Well, he definitely does. I think he's maybe he's trying to piggyback off what we talked about last week in those circumstances with these rappers out here in the feds. But I think he's taking that into the equation as well, because there's 2 screenshots. And the second screenshot says, Black men are surviving the trenches, constant battles in the war zone environment, make something of themselves as artists, become famous, make millions of dollars, change their lifestyle, and somehow they still end up dead or in jail. So I think he's kind of playing off the conversation that we had last week and taking that into consideration. But that's a big statement, man. Lone just had the list, and I'm country, so I got family down south. When that logging business is not a joke. People be out there, one false move, you make a wrong mistake, and it's a wrap for you on site daily. So I got cousins that's been in that area that do that, and it's tough down there. So you got to be careful with how you move. Jay Moore, what you think, man? That's cap, or does he have some sort of a point?
No, he doesn't have a point. I mean, I think it's a nice soundbite, especially with all the things that have happened. Like I said, it's been a ridiculous amount of rappers who've been shot and or killed in recent months. But it's, I think it's more, these things are more exceptions than rules. I think the rappers who don't try to rap and gangbang at the same time, their chances of being hurt goes down exponentially. Especially if you're not like, I mean, I know Boosie was shot, but he was dealing with Mo3, who was, unfortunately there was beef there, and people don't care, like, so it may not been something directly, but it was still something having to do with street beef.
Yeah.
I of all people, Nelly, when he was talking about when he decided, okay, I'm going to take this rap thing seriously because I can't do the streets and I can't do rap at the same time. How I'm going to do the streets, and there's a flyer that has my name on it, where I'm going to be and what time I'm going to be there. You can't do both. It just doesn't make sense. You can't tell your enemies exactly where you're going to be all the time. It doesn't work like that.
It's a fact.
I guess, working within hyperbole, I understand what he was trying to say, but let's not make it. I don't ever want to say that people put themselves in a position to where they could get killed, because like you just don't know the day or the hour.
Right.
Like death is so random. Trust me, I've been dealing with that all year.
Yeah.
And it's really a situation to where I don't ever want to blame someone for their own death. But, once you get some money, you have to, and a little bit of fame and notoriety, you have to move different. There are people who are not, they're not happy for you. And you have to understand that everybody is, I think, do you remember it was one of French Montana's associates a few years ago, 𝗀𝗃𝗃 Drugs or whatever.
Yeah, I remember
like
that.
He was came back to the neighborhood thinking everything is good. He's got his, his Porsche Panamera. Let me tell you something. The conversation on that, and it wound up being somebody he knew who killed him. Because the thing is, I'm not saying you can't go back to your old neighborhood, but you have to watch yourself and how you move, because you show up in $100,000 car and there's going to be somebody's girlfriend who's going to say, "Ooh, look at that car." Or eyes get a little too big while she's with her man. Or there's going to be somebody whose kid, you says, "Ooh, daddy, look at that car." You know what I'm saying? And then, if you don't have your self-esteem together, you're going to be feeling weak about how this man came through and stunted on you and got your son and your lady, looking at you like you some sort of superhero.
So
it's
like, funny. It's funny that you said that.
I'm just going to, I'll show him. Yeah. I'll let that motherfucker know what time it is for coming through here, stunting. He'll find out today.
It's funny that you said that, because Boosie had an interview. He talked about the famous "Hypnotized with Hatred" interview. He talked about how he used that same analogy. He talked about your girl hearing the song when she's riding by and hearing people playing my music. Your nephew in the living room, or your son, he's turning up the Boosie. Cousins listening to Boosie, and all that type of stuff starts to fester in those people, and they get jealous. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell people, nice person or not, you're a damn fool if you think everybody around you or that associate with you or people that comment on things that you do, if you think everybody is happy for you, you a damn fool. There's always somebody that's not happy for any success that you have. That's just reality. So what these rappers are talking about is magnified times 100 when you're talking about hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So I can see, to a certain extent, I can see where he's coming from. But at the same time, when you say the most dangerous, like, that's a huge statement to be like, yo,
I mean,
being a rapper is the most dangerous.
To me, it's something that whenever you pass a certain threshold of money, essentially going back and putting yourself in certain environments isn't the smartest thing to do. I mean, even as anybody that gets money, for that matter, it doesn't matter whether you're a rapper, NFL player, NBA player, that if you just a dude from the hood that got bread, you got to move different. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So that's just part of the game. You got to move different. You can't, for lack of better terms, be with all the common folk all the time trying to prove how real you are. And that's just the bottom line. Because there's certain people that if you shining too much in front of them and they're trying to make a way, then to them they're taking it as disrespect, essentially.
Yeah.
So I mean,
We saw it with Nip. We saw it with Nip though. Nip is the prime example. The prime example of what we're talking about. Exact same thing. Somebody from the hood that was jealous. Like they said, he was a rapper that nobody was really messing with, or somebody that they didn't respect. They called him a snitch, blah, 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 blah. But that was pure jealousy, man. Ain't had nothing to do with nothing else but being jealous. But the fact that fam was so successful, he came back to the hood and he saw a life that he didn't have. Got into his feelings. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. That's how it goes.
Well, no, and look, and this is crazy because when of course, for those of you who don't know who are listening, like I've worked in and around nightclubs for the better part of 20 years. Anytime I've seen any type of violence or somebody getting into a fight, it's always a self-esteem issue. It's, people want to say it's like, I tried not to work in certain establishments where I'm worried. I was like, I don't know. There's too many people in here with low self-esteem. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it is a lot of times when you are in certain environments and no one wants to really talk about the psyche, specifically with Black men and low self-esteem and, mental health. This is what leads to a lot of violence. Nobody wants to talk about these things, but I'm telling you right now, anytime you see people who are willing to fight in public over the most petty small things, that is a self-esteem issue. And if there's some place that has these problems on a regular basis, like a lot of times people get shot over like somebody, over something stupid. And I guarantee it's, but you attack that person's self-esteem.
Yeah.
And that's where it is. A lot of times it's not, it ties into ego. It ties into, challenging my manhood and how dare you say these things about me? Like, but cause I'm one of those people, look, of course I'm also 43 years old, but I've had this mentality for a long time. If you got some sort of beef with me, you can go. Like I didn't get into the game in any way, shape or form to having to be putting my hands on somebody or somebody putting their hands on me. Like if you don't like me, that is just fine. I am not here to engage you in your hate. You can go ahead and feel that way. I'm still going to get paid at the end of the night. That's what we're in it for on all levels. So, I mean, everyone just has to be careful, especially now, because I'm telling you right now, I've seen like there's a part of where I go, one of the places where I go on a pretty frequent basis. It's behind one of these international grocery stores. It's turning into like another little Skid Row because there are so many poor and disenfranchised people out here. And that's going to manifest itself into even more danger and more people being blatant with the level of violence they're ready to perpetrate on someone because, why he got them shoes on? Why does he have that? How he going to pull up here and make me look? I can only afford a drink. He buying the bottle. Like, I got to show him what time it is. It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better.
Let me ask you guys this. And Lone, I'll come to you with, what we are talking about in terms of circumstances and what rappers go through and that. With what Jay Moore just described, does the pandemic heighten that? Does that add to it in terms of the jealousy and the, all the stuff that comes with it? You think the pandemic heightens that?
If it hasn't already, it will. Just because it's, I mean, that's the obvious answer, right? Because a lot of people still don't have work. A lot of people are stuck in jobs that, that maybe they don't want to do because they're afraid of getting another job. I know that's not the same thing, but it's just the short answer is yes. I at least I believe so. I think I saw an article that said or maybe it was a tweet that 8 million more people are in poverty now than were at the start of the pandemic in America.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think that's on the low end. I really do.
most likely, and that's not including the people that are riding that line. And we're already in poverty to begin with. You know what I mean? So man, I think it's just going to that's the one thing I was kind of thinking while Jay was saying everything that he was saying is this is bigger than just simple flexing at this point, because there is a lot more going on right now. So, but at the same time, I don't think, the article is a pretty good, thorough article written by, I think it's 𝗀𝗙 Inman. I could have pronounced her name wrong, so I apologize if I've done that.
Yep.
And it's thorough, and she outlines, rappers from Royce to 5'9" to Freddie Gibbs to Nas and the sentiments, but these sentiments aren't really new. I think Jay kind of touched on it last week a little bit when I believe it was Jay that talked about the distrust that Black people would have for vaccines in general.
Oh yeah, because we started talking about all the other places.
Because I think that's more so what her article is aimed at, because she says aiding in the distrust Black people have for the health industry. So to that point, I think, let me just put it this way. I think an easy solution to this, and Jay also mentioned this last week, is have the people that are giving the vaccine out also take the vaccine.
Right.
Like if the doctors and such are not taking the vaccine, if high political people are not taking the vaccine, if people of influence and power are not taking the vaccine, it's going to help curb that whole element completely, to be honest. And then this conversation kind of gets a little bit smaller. Yeah. But we as Americans, I've seen the comments says American arrogance, which absolutely, but at the same time, like we're at a place in history right now in America specifically where there's a lot of distrust in our country. And, we have a whole bunch of people, and I mentioned this last week, that won't even validate the election, right? And then we're at a place where everything is really kind of turned political. And this is also another political item. So I think a solution to that would be to how they administer it and, real-time tracking and all that stuff. But I'll go ahead and pass my time because I'm sure you guys have thoughts on that.
That's real. That you made some good points. And shout out to the chat too as well. They definitely are definitely engaged on this one. Jay Diff, what do you think, man, in terms of the rappers saying anti-vaccine messages or giving those out? What's your initial feeling when you see that or hear that?
And it's pretty much the same as it was last week when we discussed it briefly, talking about what's his name, who said that his art, that people had to have vaccines to come to his show. Who was that? Lupe, yeah. I mean, I totally understand people's qualms about not wanting to get the vaccine. I mean, it's just a history in America that it's not always necessarily a vaccine that you're getting or receiving. You know what I'm saying? And it may be 2020 and people may say that, oh, well, we're so far past that, you got to give it a chance, whatnot. But if certain individuals aren't taking it, what makes you think that the common individual is supposed to be uncomfortable with it? I mean, Trump tweeted out that nobody in the White House is taking the vaccine anytime soon. So why would you volunteer to take it if other people aren't taking it? I mean, it's just simple. You know what I'm saying? I don't really, it's not really much more that I can say about it than I didn't discuss last week as far as why people may feel a certain way about taking it. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it is what it is. And then, until certain individuals start taking it, then I just think that's how most people are going to feel about it.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm not mad at that, Jay Moore. What you think?
Well, last week when we talked about, Lupe and the vaccine, and we didn't do so much of a deep dive on it, but it was a whole thing to where, I referenced the Tuskegee experiment. Like I said, people think that so far ago, it was the early 70s when it was discovered exactly what was going on. I'm born in the 70s. So to me, I there's that line of demarcation as far as the government aligning itself with a conspiracy that's specifically against Black people is not that far away. Right. And also when we're talking about modern times, we're also talking about how Black women have an infant mortality rate or just a mortality rate while giving birth that would rival that of a third world country, because doctors just don't have the same bedside manner when it comes to dealing with us. Like, we can go in with a certain level of pain and people just don't believe it. Like, what's crazy during the whole, one of the reasons like why the opioid crisis has hit white America so hard, well, because like, of course, they trust doctors more and they go to the doctor a little bit more often, but also when black people go in and they're actually in pain, doctors are less likely to believe them. So they won't prescribe them, 6 months worth of Percocets, so, unfortunately, that's where racism has worked in our favor, to where we're not being diagnosed, we're not being prescribed the same pain meds, because, and these are supposed to be educated, smart people. Like, I saw a study where there are doctors, once again, doctors, people who went through medical school, and were able to pass all their boards, that's still in 2020, or maybe it wasn't 2020. I'm sorry, because I don't think they'd have a study that I could actually look at, but where, even if it's from a couple of years ago, we're not talking about the 1950s and 60s, to where doctors feel that, they feel like black people don't feel pain the same way white people do. And so these are the kind of medical biases that lead to a level of distrust within the black community, and then extending itself into hip hop. Now, with that said, I would tell people to do their own reading. Like, certain
I was
level
waiting
of
on somebody to
week.
say that. I was waiting on somebody to say that.
And where, because they were like, well, they got to give you the coronavirus to put. That's not the case with this particular vaccine.
They don't even give you the coronavirus with this vaccine.
Exactly. Like, and you may like his music, 𝗏𝗡𝗄 or Offset, but I don't remember them being published in the New England Journal of Medicine. That's not to dismiss them completely,
Facts.
but
that's facts.
There are black doctors who, and plus the vaccine was developed by a black woman. Like, I'm not saying that that's automatically going to make it the most righteous thing ever, but it leads me to, it gives me a little bit more comfort than
knowing that that she made it or was responsible for.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for one of the vaccines. But, and like I said last week, I want people to really think about this. They're giving this to doctors and nurses first. These are the people who say there is something, they didn't do their due diligence with this vaccine. If the vaccine winds up killing them, then it doesn't matter. We're all done for anyway, because we're not going to be any doctors or nurses to treat us. So I do think they did.
But it
do
doesn't
their due
necessarily
diligence.
have to be. That's the thing with me is I don't necessarily trust the process as far as certain people saying that they're getting it and are actually receiving that vaccine. Just like,
and I understand that
the first person that took it on American soil was a black woman, I believe, that took it. When was that? Yesterday?
It was a couple of days ago. I've been seeing it I've been seeing several doctors say, look, I'm taking the vaccine.
But how easy it is to say that, though?
Lines.
You know how easy it is to say that?
Right.
Yeah,
it is easy to say that, but this is the thing. Like, I want people to do their own research. Like we talked about meme knowledge before.
Oh,
and there's a lot of people out here doing meme knowledge. Like, I saw this on Brother Ankh 54's Instagram page. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's mad koofies on his page, but like, and
what's his Instagram? What's his Instagram name? Other what?
I can't even remember what I said. But I'm just saying, like, there's there are people who are, because groupthink works both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not telling everybody to groupthink and just go ahead and, be all in for the vaccine. But I'm also saying, like, don't be groupthink in for the conspiracy either.
Koofy memes will send you all the way the fuck off if you don't be careful. Like, Koofy memes will really send you off. To Jay Moore's point about doing your research, like, there's a line that I don't think we really step across to actually do that, because in today's era, literally, like, there's been times where I saw something, I thought I read it. Terry will text me and be like, bro, take that down. That's fake, right? As a real friend would. And I call myself a person that would look at something and be like, nah, this is bullshit. So you can imagine the people that just see stuff that is shared and just share it. No thought, no reading, no anything. And how many people are going to be sent off by that post? And then it trickles down and continues to trickle down. So
I don't know, man.
There's past 4 years have been rampant with that.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I see you as somebody that actually reads the articles.
Read articles. I definitely read articles. On this, I'm definitely gonna read the article.
You see, you're a headliner, right?
It's way
Headliner.
it's way more people who are getting their education on social media versus actual education.
Yeah.
Than I think ever in life, because there's literally people that call themselves. They call themselves experts and smart and intelligent based on stuff that they've read on Facebook or whatever video wormhole they went down on YouTube. Just because somebody made a video does not make it fact. And I think that's what people's problem are today. They discredit the shit that's actually fact. And if you're not riding with the fact, that means you're what's the term they call everybody now that believe in actual facts? You're a sheep. You're a sheep if you believe in facts. Yeah. So
right.
I mean, all of that is good money. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy out here that people feel that way and are going through those certain steps to prove why not to get the vaccine. So I definitely agree with you on that as far as doing your education to figure it out on your own.
No, I mean,
look,
this is the thing. I can learn how to fix the brakes on my car if I watch a YouTube video. Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't, just because when the next video comes up and it says, yo, you can cure cancer and AIDS by eating this many almonds and mixing up some ginger root, and like, I understand, like, there's so much. I'm not, and I understand, like, I'm not trying to down anybody, but once again, YouTube knowledge, and like a lot of times that's why people like Instagram so much, because you can see a picture and then you can see maybe 3 or 4 sentences and move on, and you think that you've done the reading. Yeah. And I'm just telling you right now, that doesn't mean you've done the reading, especially like you could be groupthink on both ends. I just want people to remember that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lone. Were you going to say something?
I was nothing. I was going to say something stupid about horoscopes and religion, but I'm going to keep moving.
No, we're not about to talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
No, we're not about to do that. We're not about to do that.
Let's talk about it.
No, let's not do that.
Do it in the post show.
We not. That's what we call ramp territory. We not about to go in that area.
I don't know who's in retrograde right now, but that's dependent on how you scroll.
We not going into any ramp territory in this episode. But what we can do is we could take a moment, Lone, if you're ready, to shout out our wonderful partners before we get into the last topic.
Sure.
We'd like to thank our partners for the New Old Heads podcast: No Bad Ideas Clothing Company, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, Sun King Brewery, and the hub for all things New Old Heads, bringingdowntheband.com. Remember, once you type Bringing Down the Band in the search bar on YouTube and the page populates, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, we thank you for your support. Now back to the show. All right. So shout out to the partners as always. We really appreciate them, and we're starting to grow those relationships. So that's a good thing. Some of this shit ever clear up, maybe we can expand the relationships even more. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see. Before we get into the last topic, shout out the chat. The chat is live. DJ Nate Jeezy says Jay Moore wild. Shout out to my man Corey T. I see you, brother. Element's still in here. The Flood, I see you, boy. I think Nicole is still in here somewhere. She might have dipped out. Poppy Amona's in here. I said him earlier. Man, Branson. So we appreciate y'all. All right, so let's go to a list the 𝗙𝗟 released, and they got ads all over the damn site. Can't even see what I came to look for.
Gotta get them accidental clicks, man.
Man, I'm just saying, they out here getting them too. You dealing a lot of websites, man. There must be some type of holding for that, because it's like 50 of them on here.
If you accidentally click it, they make money. So it's like what it is. Shouts to all the Leos and the Libras in the chat.
If I can get this article pulled up.
Big butts and smiles are spreading mad misinfo on Instagram.
All right,
totally agree with that, Corey.
Let's see, 𝗲𝗱. Shout out to Corey T. He's a fool, man. Y'all gonna enjoy his comments. I will say that. These are the hip hop trends that should end in 2020. This is via 𝗲𝗱. If you wade through the 50 articles to get bread that Long was talking about, that coding life. But these are the hip hop trends that should end in 2020. So
Okay.
didn't look at the list. Well, I skimmed it, but I didn't look all the way down the list to see. But let's see what they put on here. So one of the first ones they put up is having a Lil in your rap name. How do I feel about that one?
That's like 2007.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just saying.
I remember. I remember
that one really kind of ended until Lil Baby came out.
I had a
Okay.
I had a conversation with one of my old rap friends long time ago who wanted to change his name to Lil something. I said, "You're not doing that."
Change my name to
That's the end of the story.
Big
There's nothing more.
Nuts. Little Big Nuts.
Lil what?
Lil Big Nuts.
Little Big Nuts.
I'm cool.
I was gonna do a parody where I was gonna put out a rapper named no, it wasn't Little, it was Young. It was I'm gonna put out a Young School Shooter, and we was really gonna get some money with Young School Shooter out here.
Little
I mean, I
pistol
had one
starter.
too. I had one. It was called Young Lil Big.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And if I see somebody out here and they got a rapper named Young School Shooter, I'm coming for my check.
You got
Yeah,
to
because
put a
they
song out. I think we need to have a young school shooter on the track with on the new Star Trap project.
There's gonna be some bars on there. All right, so let's go down the list. So Lil, I agree with that. I've always agreed with that. Getting the same A-list features on albums. So basically, everybody copying the same A-list features and getting those same ones on their albums for major releases. What y'all think about that?
You never gonna stop that. Everybody, but even back in the day, it was like, all right, let me go ahead and get my Jay-Z verse.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and get my Foxy verse. Then it was like, okay, let me get a verse from, so and so. Like it, and now it's like, let me get a verse from the Baby. Let me get a verse from Megan. Let me get, let me get a verse from Lil Baby. You're not gonna stop that.
I get confused with the babies.
They do that to sell records and to get radio play, because if you got artists that are always on the radio, you definitely are trying to get that song with that artist to try to break you on radio as well. So I don't think that formula is stopping anytime soon.
No.
Okay, well, I can rock with that. Next one says putting too many. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd be okay if it went away, but it's not going away.
No, it ain't going nowhere. Let's see. Putting too many songs on a track list. I love this one because
not gonna happen. Not in the streaming era. If I was a rapper, I'd put out 30 songs on a record. That's the only way you can try and get paid.
My last project had 100 tracks.
That's different. Don't do that. That's different. I'm sharing the screen so y'all can see this list. What?
10 interludes and skits.
Yeah,
like Jagged Edge put out an album that had like 40. I mean, I didn't listen to it, but I know it did. It's like, so if you're really big into Jagged Edge,
send me the link.
They put out more records on one album that they probably had on there.
You know what? I heard that it was actually a decent album, but somebody said it sounded like one long ass song.
You know, Chris Brown
what Chris Brown is doing. He's playing the streaming game, and then
Chris
what
Brown
you do?
had
You
like
put out the
75
deluxe
joints. Yeah, the
Hey,
deluxe got 100.
Chris Brown's last one actually had some joints on it though. It's one thing to drop something that has 30 plus songs on it, and it's all just bullshit.
Yeah,
and it's another thing that, I mean, what's your average got to be? If you dropping a 30 song release, 20 of them at least got to be good.
Hey, hold that thought, because I want to get through the rest of the list.
You know your camera went away, right?
Yeah.
So can y'all see my share though? Y'all see me the 𝗲𝗱 page? You see it?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. With all these damn ads. Okay. Mass promoting comments on social media posts.
Yeah, that's corny.
Yeah, that's pretty whack. I'm cool on that. Dropping deluxe albums. We just talked. We just said that one. Dropping deluxe
playing the
album.
streaming game.
That's the 30 piece.
Playing the
Yep.
streaming game. I'm not mad at it.
It says there's a fine line between rewarding fans with new post-album tunes and oversaturating the game with an attempt to get more quick bucks. I agree.
I'm gonna tell you, well, we've talked about this before, but Griselda probably does this the best way. They each drop about 2 to 3 projects a year, and so as a collective, that's what 9, essentially 9 releases every year of all new shit, but it's broken down. That's probably the best formula, like them or like a Currency. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's a collective versus, like, to your point, like if West Side Gun dropped 9 projects, I'd be like, come on, man, like, word. And
that's why I was saying they got the formula because they're each dropping like 3.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Combine it since they're all from the same camp. Yeah.
Oh, I love this one right here because this, to me, this describes this entire era. And yes, I'm old. Doing anything for clout.
Oh, that's rampant.
Well, hold on, I got something specific I want to speak on with this. Because of course, like I said, even in the times of Corona, and I know like it is what it is, man. I got to get my money. I'm in the club, and you know what the most clout chasing thing that I hate more than anything is when people request records by artists they didn't care about until they died. Like I had people coming up like, "Yo, play that Mo 3, play that King Von." I never had requests for Mo 3 or King Von until after they died. I'm sorry, were killed.
Now everybody love Pop Smoke too. All of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, now I can understand a little bit with Pop Smoke because that album came out after he died, and it did have some joints, and he is getting that love on the radio. But you know, I mean, I'll say this, even with Nipsey.
Yeah.
You know, I remember like radio stations were trying to do like Nipsey tributes. I was like, oh, it
never
nice
played
you to play his records when he was alive.
Never played his records
like,
when he was alive. Never.
You know, but like when I'm in the and I'll be honest, at a certain point, it makes me uncomfortable. You want to hear these songs by like, you know, like I'm not trying to bring that energy in, and even if I don't know the records like that, but I feel like, yo, if this person got shot in the last couple of weeks, I don't want that energy in my establishment.
100%.
So yeah, 100%. I mean, it bothers me that people just they're it's almost like you're dead rapper clout chasing by requesting Mo 3 and King Von, and people asking for FBG-Duck. Did nobody ask for FBG-Duck until he was killed?
Yeah, that shit. I know that shit is corny. That shit is definitely.
I know
corny.
they say dead rappers get better promotion, but I hate that so much.
All right,
I just won't play the records. I'm sorry.
Check this next one out. We didn't doing anything for clout. Saying coronavirus pandemic is over.
Who said that?
I don't know.
Everybody in Atlanta.
Yeah, they might be onto something there.
Maybe they just mean acting as if it's over.
Well, yeah.
Everyone wants to go to concerts. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's time to embrace social distancing. Yep.
Yeah, I'm still cool. So,
how about this one?
Trolling incessantly, huh?
Yeah, trolling incessantly. These days, there's so much trolling going on that it can be hard to separate what's real and what's not. Man, that's
it's
a bar right
the
there.
Troll actually looks like
that's a weird one.
like 𝗏𝗏𝗄 6ix9ine.
Wow.
Look at 𝗏𝗏𝗄 right there.
Wow. What's up, with my man?
Notice how when he flopped, he just disappeared.
Yeah, he trying to come up with another scheme, some more bullshit to do. The troll on the right, like he got a cold or something, and his nose a different color.
Man, that looked like act. That's academics, and then that's 6ix9ine with the red hair.
Like he might got the flu or something. All right, let's see. Rappers
That's an interesting one.
What's up? Oh, the trolling.
That's an interesting one because I don't even really know what that means.
Oh man,
unless you're talking specifically about like 6ix9ine.
I mean, his whole schmuck is trolling. I mean, 50 Cent he's a master troll, and the way he does it is just him. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people try to follow in his footsteps as far as that's concerned, and they miss the mark, I think. I mean, sometimes he can be a little extra. and everybody knows that.
He is a little. He's extra at times, but to your point, like that definitely was a blueprint.
It's not. That's not like a rap thing, though, is it? Though trolling.
It's corny people in rap do it like excessively, like they do it.
Oh, I troll all the time.
No, it's different though. Not like this. not like this. Rappers having fans do weird things for money on Instagram Live. Rappers having fans do weird things.
Show me pussy, I'll give you $1,000.
Yeah.
Put the pussy on live, I'll give you $1,000.
That would qualify. Lil Yachty paid a fan $500 to drink urine.
Well, that's the dumbass fans' fault to actually drink the pee.
Listen, I feel you. I'm just going off the article.
Stupid.
I'm just going off the article.
A fan ate a feces sandwich on Trippie Redd's Instagram Live.
See, nah, man.
This is why I don't F with these people.
I mean,
be careful, Jay Moore.
If you decide you want to eat a shit sandwich, you can't blame that on that young man. If he told you to eat a shit sandwich, you decided that's what you wanted to do with your life, then hey.
That's unfortunate.
It's more reflection on the person that eats the shit sandwich than it is the person that asks that person to eat the shit sandwich. Fair? Is that fair?
Definitely.
In no circumstances should y'all be out here eating shit sandwiches, subs, paninis. I don't give a fuck what it is. Y'all shouldn't be doing that. All right, so engaging in social media beef. The sad part about it is there's a lot of people that make money. Never going to stop.
That's not going to stop.
Never going to stop.
I mean, most people are tough behind a keyboard any goddamn way. So
academics would be irrelevant if this went away, because he made his whole life off instigating stupid shit that rappers do. So
that'd be great.
I don't think that's going anywhere. Let's see. Being part of toxic fandom. So
what is that?
I think they're going along the lines of, let's see. About a week after King Von was shot and killed while allegedly fighting with Quando Rondo, Polo G tweeted a pointed message about the role. I mentioned this a while back about the role toxic fans play in rap beef. We live in an era where toxic fans play a big part in instigating and escalating beefs. While it's hard to say any of that played a role in Von's feud, all it takes is a Twitter search to see that why certain fan bases go at each other's necks or necks of other rappers. That's a good point, I think. I think Polo G was onto something there, because in this era, things do get gassed, via social media and comment sections and, fans hyping stuff up. So I agree with this, that this should be gone as well.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that's not going anywhere either. See, lot of these things they saying that rappers should do or should eliminate. That's not something that they can eliminate, because you're talking about somebody that pretty much wants to get, this goes back to the clout, or some recognition by just being an asshole online, and they're not necessarily even a rapper. They're that rapper's fan that's aiding and abetting to the bullshit going on, because to them it's entertainment. So
entertainment.
And that's
the last one is using Birkin bag references.
I agree with that.
Yeah, but you know what? It's either going to be Gucci bag. It's going to be something aspirational that somebody cannot afford, whether Cadillacs in the 80s, Mercedes Benz in the early 90s. Look, just think about it. There was a time when having a Pathfinder, you thought, if you got a Pathfinder, you made it.
And it was like having a Suzuki sidekick.
Oh yeah, like then hold up. It jumped real quick, and you had to have a Bentley. I was like, "Yo, fam, where?" Like the level of materialism almost jumped to a cartoonish level at one point.
Not for real.
Where it was like, "All right, I'm just gonna act like I know what y'all are talking about."
Yeah, you could have got the Eddie Bauer blazer or something back in the day, or Expedition.
Oh, the Eddie Bauer. Oh,
and you would have been doing something.
Hey, shout out!
You would have been doing something.
Shout out to the parking lot. Shout out to the parking lot on 69th and Ashland in Chicago and Inglewood. You can get any bag you want. I used to work in Inglewood. You can get any bag. I don't know if it's gonna be the bag they talking about. You can get a nice.
So the Birkins is like tens and 20s of thousands of dollars and above.
They got them on. They got
rapper Drake. Your favorite rapper Drake actually has a Birkin bag collection that he says that he just likes to buy purses so that whenever he gets with the right woman,
he can just give her a bag.
Already have a purse collection.
I'm just saying
that's what he says. But
on 69th and Ashland, they got a lot. It might not be real, but they got a lot. All right, so
never understood. Never understood the fascination with bags, man.
DJ Corey T said we should get the Jetson sound every time we share a screen. I'm for that, but I don't know how that works in this program. But that would be dope. Nate Jeezy says, "Hey, Biggie was shitting on bit."
After I cocks over and shits on the bitch, yeah.
He was like, "So you know I shit on her, right?" Oh my god, man!
Shit. Over and shit on her.
Over her stomach.
On her stomach.
Yo, I don't care, man. But
what I'm supposed to wipe that off and
supposed to hit that. Yeah. But look, man, if you choose to make that choice, we need to get you in a Jay Moore mentor program, and so he can straighten you back out.
Don't be out there eating shit sandwiches.
Yeah, anybody to do that. Anybody that eats that, I'm sending them to Jay Moore. We're gonna get them back right. Jay Moore, I think you'd be a good influence on somebody that ate a shit sandwich online to get them back right.
I don't really have anything I could say. You've already crossed a line of where can't nobody tell you nothing if you out here eating shit sandwiches for $500 and because you know what you are for the rest of your life. Hey, aren't you the dude that ate the shit sandwich because some rapper with tattoos on his face asked you to? Like, people got to realize that the internet is forever.
Yes.
So there's a lot of people that they probably hoping the grid goes down.
Yeah.
Because what they're famous for, it'll stop then. Like I tell people, look,
don't get caught up in a meme. Don't get caught up in a good meme because that's you for the rest of your life.
I tell my lady friends, I was like, look, I don't care how much you love your man, whatever. Don't let him record y'all doing nasty stuff because it's because like the only reason he's recording it is so he can show it to somebody, and when y'all break up, he's gonna wind up on one of these sites like this. So I was like. And the thing is, you don't want to be that girl.
That game now.
You don't want to be that girl having sex.
They need to be smarter than that. You shouldn't have to tell them
they
that.
out here
feel like they want to get recorded. Let them go ahead and do it.
College.
Listen, man.
And some dude had it. You thought you liked in college, and you getting your back blown out to like a Lil Wayne mixtape, and it's on the internet forever. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. When I see
they doing it to themselves nowadays. They out here doing it to themselves nowadays with this OnlyFans shit. So I'm not feeling bad for nobody. They got a videotape and it get leaked because they probably behind the leakage anyway.
All I'm gonna say is this, man. Jay Moore, I'm gonna ask you. I need a yes or no answer. So are you saying that when it all being said and done, you can't help a person ate a shit sandwich for $500 on the internet? You can or cannot help that person. That's all I want to know.
Is like, honestly, that person just wasn't raised right. They don't have any level. Like if you'll do that, then you'll probably do anything. Okay. And the one thing that you won't do is take advice from somebody who knows better.
Okay.
Or go to the dentist. I bet you they ain't never seen Dr. Coleman.
Oh, hell no.
Ain't nobody in their right mind.
And you know what? If we're not sending any you shit eaters to Dr. Coleman.
Nah, we don't want Dr. Coleman out here dealing with none of that. Like Dr. Coleman is a nice guy.
Wearing extra face mask because you decide to eat a shit sandwich.
Yeah, get your dumb ass out here eating shit sandwiches. All right, man. So
what if I splice this whole segment up and send it to him and say, hey, we got this promotion for you.
That's how you keep sponsorships, kids.
Yeah, go for it.
Straight up. This is the formula for those that wanted to know.
Yeah, like if y'all want to know how to, try to get you some sponsorships, like to go find the little boy that was eating the shit sandwich and then, bring him in and send it to the artist that had him do that. And that's promotion right there. Y'all will blow up and get a sponsorship from, I don't know, fucking Dollar Tree or some shit like that. All right, man. So we gotta get out of here. Jay Moore got things to do. We appreciate everybody in the chat as always. Make sure you subscribe to the New Old Heads Network on YouTube. Search for that. Subscribe. We're getting close on our numbers. Also, When you come into Twitch, bring somebody next week with you. Share their link when we go live for the pre-show at 9. Last week we had 39 people. We maxed out, I believe, for views. So when you guys share, that really helps bring people in so they can enjoy the experience and rock with us in the chat. As always, find Bringing Down the Band, which is the hub for everything that we do. Find that on YouTube and subscribe as well. Patreon, we did a raffle today, so you can sign up for that. And then follow us on all social media, IG, Twitter, etc. Mess with us. We really appreciate you guys. You keep us going. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up this week, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Stick around for the post show.